Welcome everyone to Open Shop. We are so thrilled you're with us for this hour. This is an environment that we want you to feel comfortable in. This is going to be the best place in Australia for you to come shopping. We offer value, variety, products you're not going to see anywhere else. And for the newcomers, if you're new to the family, we offer 10% discount on your first purchase, including express free delivery anywhere in Australia and a 30-day money-back guarantee. And what about a Mercedes-Benz? Who wants a Mercedes-Benz? Well, you'll automatically this month go into the draw with every purchase to win a brand new Mercedes. But this hour is all about life. It's actually all about your life. It's all about how modern foods are not supporting our modern lifestyle. So I have to ask you, are you feeling constantly fatigued? Are you feeling constantly stressed? Are you catching every little virus, every little cold and flu that's going around? Is your tummy doing funny stuff? You know, poor digestion. Maybe you're looking in the mirror and you're saying, okay, I'm aging overnight. Is your skin stressed? Is it dry? Well, this hour, we're going to take a little bit of the mystery away from your health, because we do think it's mysterious, don't we? But it's directly linked to the level of nutrition we're putting in our body. So what I'm going to say to you is, over the next hour, if any of those things are you know, if you're thinking that's me, I am fatigued, I am stressed, I do have all the niggles, maybe grab a cup of tea and sit down and listen, because the man that you're about to hear from, the man that's formulated this product, has decades of scientific research behind him. And the product itself is 65,000 years in the making. This is exciting. Welcome to life, everybody. And welcome the man who actually created this product, formulated it. This is Vic Cherikoff. And anyone that knows about superfoods and wild foods here in Australia will know that this man knows everything there is to know about this area. But firstly, I've got to say, hi, Zach. Zach is one of our new presenters, and we love Zach. And Zach, you are going to be doing something really fun this hour. What are you going to be doing with our girls?
Yeah, hey guys, by the way, nice to meet you. So at the back, these two lovely ladies have come in. They're in for a treat. I've been speaking with them, and they've got a couple of health challenges.
Yep.
And with what I know about this product, I'm really excited for them to try it and to integrate it into their lifestyle.
I'm excited for you to do that as well, because the thing about it, when people think health and nutritional supplements, they think, it's going to taste awful. So I'm really excited, because I have been taking this product. So I'm excited for you to get a live reaction from those girls. So I might send you over there now, Zach,
Perfect.
if that's all right.
I'll see you soon.
And we'll talk to you a little bit later.
All right.
Bye, Zach.
Bye.
Cheers.
Where do we start? 65,000 years in the making. And you call this the antidote to modern life. That is my favourite thing about that.
I mean, the problem is that our foods are being grown really for a distribution channel.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, you try and eat healthy, and you cook at home perhaps, or you really go for the organic and the rest, and you still feel tired, and you're still looking, sort of like life walking through molasses. So who is this for? Literally, it's for everybody, and that's even mothers that are planning, or pre-mothers, okay? Women planning their pregnancies and their family and so forth. Start early, all the way through, and then, well, I like to say 190 years I'll still be drinking it, because I think that's about the biological life of humans.
Okay, so life, L-I-F-E, what does it actually stand for?
Yeah, well, it's lyophilized, which means freeze-dried.
Yeah.
Lyophilized Indigenous food essentials. So Indigenous means that they're native, and they're ready for, basically, some of the foods are actually wild harvested, and they're not commercially grown. They're literally picked by Aboriginal people off their traditional lands, and we've got systems that bring them into the city, and then we process them from there. So that's the Indigenous side of things. Other elements in life as well are just great supportive foods that we need as well. And then I call them essentials, because we absolutely need them.
Vic, before we even get there, I want to ask, so there'd be a few people watching us now saying, okay, I think this might be me.
Yeah.
How will they know if this is for them? Who are we talking to right now, Vic?
Well, the whole idea is to try it for yourself. We're offering a money-back guarantee, so give it a go and see what happens. I mean, you've got a whole month And in that time, you take life either as by the teaspoonful, that's fine, or half teaspoonful, a couple of times a day. And the idea then is to, or you can put it as we know, on dishes like yogurt, porridge, whatever.
Smoothies.
But the whole deal is a little bit goes a long way. Okay, take it, try it, see if you get energy. And energy comes in two forms, both mental and physical. So, you'll get a little bit of rush. It's not like the massive rush where energy drinks and you're hanging off the wall and then slowly you sort of come back to earth. This is just a good energy boost, sustained energy, and it's there for the day.
Okay, I want to ask you how this is different, because it's a minefield now with superfoods, super powders that you can get, all sorts of organic. And I think people are a bit freaked out, actually. They don't know if they're using the right one, if it's the right thing for their body. How is life different to what is currently on the market?
Really, really good question, because we see new diets, we see new ways of eating, new recommendations, and a new supplement literally every couple of months. Why? Because in a way you can't expect scientists to come up in a laboratory with foods when we've got 37 trillion organisms in our body, and then there's another 100 trillion or 86 trillion, near enough to 100 trillion organisms in our gut as well. How do you feed those? You're not going to do it by looking at references and making up things. What I've done with life is look back 60,000, 65,000 years to look at the most successful, the longest living culture on the planet, see how they managed to maintain encyclopedic memories when they were old. And all of them are polyglots. They can speak 4 or 5 languages, and they're as different as English is to Spanish, and then English is on top of that as well. So that's the whole deal. And then when you look at physical performance, the way that they could run and walk, and just the endurance that they could.
So we've got the indigenous, so the blend is the indigenous foods along with the superfoods.
Absolutely.
So let me go back
But there's 14 of these wild foods.
14.
And so looking back just at this culture, putting that into a supplement, and then putting it out and seeing how people react to it. And we're going to see a lot of testimonials here as well as it goes on. And I tell you, people are just, I'm sometimes amazed. Okay, the science says it should be the right, and it should do this and that, and then suddenly we get people coming back and verifying it.
And on that,
give
me an idea of some of the short-term benefits that we might be able to experience taking our teaspoon of life every day, Vic.
Yeah, well, the first one is wow.
Yeah,
okay,
that's what I think people are saying to me.
I get so many people that take it first, and it depends on where you are as well. In America, where the diets are really bad across the board, and they take it, these people are almost rocking as they take the first shot. But the thing is, even Australians on good diets and so forth, definitely you get that energy and the energy lift. You feel that it's doing good. And the interesting thing is part of sort of improving circulation, where your literally your energy is going all the way through your body, and it's sustained. It's there for the rest of the day. So I mentioned before, physical and mental energy. So again, you can focus, you can concentrate more. Okay, great if you're under pressure and working to a deadline here and there. Then there's even short term as well. Things like, skin starts to respond pretty quickly.
It does,
because the whole idea is that your skin cells have to talk to one another. And bang, there it goes. As you start to support the skin cells, you start to support all the organs in your body as well. Good nutrition, they respond accordingly, and you just start feeling well and well and well.
And before we get to some of the long-term benefits, I want to just say to everybody watching who might go, well, how does he know? Or how's that going to work? Or this is the man that not only formulated it, but he's the scientist behind this product that has been in the wild food industry foraging, literally started off foraging as a young man right through his university career, and now one of the exporters to the United States of Australian wild foods. Because people might go, well, who is Vic Cherikoff? He has literally written the book. He's written a few. I've read them all, Vic. So interesting. But you've actually written the book on Australian wild foods. And I just want to take a moment to talk about that before we even get to some of the long-term benefits that a teaspoon of life can give us every day.
Sure. I've had the experience of going out with some of the Aboriginal women from communities, remote area, and they sort of come out of their, the hut they're living in the settlement, and then you know, you look at these people walking over to get into the car, and I think, you know, these people, I'm going to just drive around and we're going to be looking at wild foods out the car window. It looked as though they could barely walk. One particular lady, who's a good friend of mine now, Maudie, had a walking stick and was sort of being helped over to the car and helped into the four-wheel drive. We went off, and I thought, how on earth are we going to walk for miles, dig and cook on open fires and all sorts of stuff? It took literally overnight. And the next day, as Maudie came out of her home, she had a steel bar as a digging stick, all right, and carrying this piece of steel reinforcing, bounced into the car. She'd lost about 25 years physically in chronological years overnight, and the change was just remarkable, simply because we're out in her country as well, so there's a good mental lift. But the wild foods that you get simply in eating these wild foods and eating a range of them, bang, you know, there it is.
And you know what, Vic has so many stories like this because he has spent decades working with the Indigenous cultures here in Australia. He still does, foraging, making sure the formulation in life, the superfoods and the Australian wild foods are the perfect blend. And I have to say to everybody, you know, if you're out there and you think, I think life actually works out at about $3 a day, Vic. I think it's just over $3 a day or something.
To me, I'd be paying $10 a day because, I mean, what this does for you is it essentially makes you look younger, feel better, sleep better, and age more slowly. I mean, what else could you want?
And if you're out there and you're thinking, you know what, I'd love to try this, well, this is a great place to start, because here at Open Shop, we're all about making it easy for you. So you can actually get 10% off your very first purchase. Remember, it's express free delivery anywhere in Australia. And also for those of you that are saying, yeah, you know what, I'd love to try it, but maybe can't quite afford it at the moment, I would be using Afterpay. Afterpay is a fabulous way for you to get life home and try it. And remember, it does have that 30-day money-back guarantee. Now, you can either call our call centre on 13 25 80, or you can go to our website, openshop.com.au. We're making it easy for you to shop with us. You're going to love shopping with us. We've got a reward system as well that we're going to tell you all about. But thank you for joining the family today. I just have to ask you one more thing here. You know, Vic, I think for a lot of people, they say, okay, well, hold on a second. I am trying to do the right thing. I am eating organic. I try and you get fresh food from the farmers markets, balanced meals, and I'm still tired. I'm still stressed. I still feel like I'm catching every bug that's going around. My digestion's not great. I'm gaining weight. How can life help those people?
Well, it's a thing called hidden hunger, and it's a lack, a deficiency of micronutrients. We're just not getting them in modern foods. Things like, you know, antioxidants, and there's literally hundreds. In fact, there's so many important antioxidants that we're not even getting in our food now that have actually been bred out because of the way we make our food through factory farming. And even if you buy organic, the problem is the species grown, the selections grown are still the same ones that they're growing with factory farms, all right? So you might get a little bit more nutrients, certainly, the antioxidant content's a little bit higher, but there's things like adaptogens, anti-allergens. I mean, why do we get so many bad reactions to food? It's because the anti-allergens are actually gone from our diet these days. Again, bred out. Even minerals are no longer what they call bioavailable. We can't absorb the minerals out of a lot of foods because they haven't been pre-prepared by microorganisms. I mean, they're even growing wheat now as a semi-dwarf wheat because the soils they're growing them in are now sterile because of pesticide use and herbicide use, and so the plants themselves can't even pick up things like silica, basic minerals as well.
Okay, so even if you're trying to do everything right, there's this gap in our nutrition.
Well, even there, and to take it further and to give you even more bad news, Aboriginal people in the desert had 150 different foods to choose from in a year. And you move up into the wet tropics, you know, in fact, right across the top end and down the east and west seaboards as well, you've got up to 700 different foods available in a year. So how many do we eat? Well, most Australians are averaging out about 90 different foods a year, and that's if they're really adventurous eaters, right?
Yeah.
But the problem is we're now taking one species and breeding it into 12 different types.
So if you're eating 10 foods, you could be getting the nutrition from like 2 foods.
Exactly.
Right, I understand what you're saying.
And you know, I mean, we've got maybe 185 different spices that are available now from different cultures and so on. Most people might, you know, have a dozen or so.
Yeah.
And the spices, in a way, reflect just how good the aromatics and the volatiles and these active compounds are. The more pungent your spices, the more aromatic your spices, the better they are for you. But I mean, you can't eat a ton of turmeric, you can't eat a ton of ginger and so forth.
Yeah.
They're actually sub-therapeutic and they're poorly absorbed and all sorts of things. The whole deal here is we take fresh food, fresh fruits, as harvested. They're frozen on site and basically then they're shipped to us frozen. So they've never seen high heat, they've never seen pasteurization. We purify the surface of the fruit simply with, again, a proprietary antimicrobial, a natural antimicrobial, and it cleans off any bacteria and so forth, so it's totally safe to eat. We then freeze dry it. That's the lyophilization. And so these little kakadu plums or kalari plums are dried once the seed's removed into a powder down below, and then that's part of the formulation. So hopefully we can see that there. Yep. That's a beautiful fine powder. I mean, this stuff actually sells around $700 a kilo. So
I was just about to say that, because I know what you do in terms of export to the US, who can't get enough of Australian wild foods and how much it does cost. So, okay, let's take kakadu plum as an example, or maybe one of the ingredients in life that you want to choose. Why did you choose it?
Yep.
Like, give us an example. What's it going to do for our body? Why was it your choice, Vic?
Well, I mean, you know, we have to include the kakadu or kalari plum, largely because this little fruit will provide up to 3 times your daily requirement of vitamin C. And now in nutritional circles, we're talking about vitamin C capacity. And so the antioxidant capacity of this fruit is absolutely world record holding. And because it literally has not much of a taste, a little bit of a mucilage in a way, but no taste on its own, it's just solid nutrient. We can actually put a fair amount in, we take the seed out and the rest of it's used. That's probably the world's highest antioxidant capacity fruit, and the second is the quandong. I said that carefully. It's the quandong, okay? And quandong, it's a Wiradjuri word. It's an Aboriginal word.
Yes.
This is the dried halves, and we tend to use the fresh fruit of the quandong. Again, we put it through a machine that removes the seed, and the rest of it is used. And even though there's lots of colour in the skin, inside we just find a whole lot of other nutrients in the paler flesh, and this again is just an amazing fruit. It's been used by Aboriginal people for tens of thousands of years. They just, you know, they feel better when they eat these foods. But again, it's not one food. It's not the idea that there's going to be just, you know, one or two foods and here's a supplement. We can now say without doubt, the supplements that you buy and try to compete, you know, really, that you've been using probably for years yourself, the multivitamins and minerals and so forth, they're now proving to be more hazardous than beneficial, and certainly most of them are just waste products. You take in B vitamins, what happens?
What, do you weigh it out?
Pretty quickly.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, I got that right.
Well done.
Thank you, Vic. We are going to come back after this short break and we're going to talk about the long-term benefits, because we talked about that boost in energy, one of the short-term benefits, but the long-term benefits are very interesting. And can I say well done to our new viewers, because you're going to receive 10% off your first purchase, as well as going into the draw for that Mercedes. And remember, if you haven't picked up the phone to order Life yet, you can do that on 13 25 80. Welcome back, everybody. Now, Vic, many of your testimonials, people that have been taking Life, have reported, you know, some amazing long-term benefits, and you yourself have lost 35 kilos as well. Yeah. And I want to know what people, this is exciting, you know, it's exciting for people watching to say, well, hold on, is there something that I could take where I might feel better long term? Look,
the whole deal with Life is that you don't actually have to change your existing diet. You can just put Life on top and really work from there. Yes. Now, what that does is, by addressing hidden hunger, you start finding that your taste drive for sugar and sweet and even carbs just drops away. So you're not really that hungry anymore for sweetness, all right? And the deal there is, and the reason I lost weight, is that by recognising minimizing that and not going for sugary foods, what's happening essentially is that the micronutrients are always an essential part of what we need, right? If we don't get them in our diet, then our taste drive for sweetness and fat starts to have us hunting around and foraging and eating anything we can get our hands on in a vain attempt to find those micronutrients. Once you've addressed it, easy.
That's why some of the wonderful viewers out there may know me, and they know that I love the drive-through. And Vic, I know I don't mind a drive-through. You know I don't discriminate. It doesn't matter if it's junk food, I'm there. But Vic, the good news is that Vic, you explain. I love this theory. It's not really my fault, Vic. It's actually my body, because once I got on the cycle of eating that junk food,
absolutely,
my gut is craving.
Yeah, let's not forget that we're not alone, okay? There's 37.2 trillion organisms or cells in our own body making up this one organism, but inside our microbiome is another 86 trillion organisms. And they're the ones that actually determine what we want, what we eat, and so forth, okay? And yes, exactly, you're driven to drive-thrus because that's what the microorganisms in your gut are used to eating, and that's what they want more of. As you start to top up your nutrition with good food, then things start to change. You change the population, you change the species, the numbers and the type of bugs in your gut, and so you will prefer healthier foods. So it just gets easier and easier.
So one of the long-term benefits then, Vic, is that healthy microbiome and less cravings, and that's how it may lead to weight loss.
That's exactly right. And also, if you really listen to what your body's saying, you find that you only need 2 meals a day, breakfast and dinner, and forget lunch. And so suddenly, you know, you don't even have to worry about it. You just don't look for more and more food because your micronutrients are being addressed. So important. And part of that healthier microbiome is also, you find that immunity is assisted. So, you know, you might find that, I mean, I remember getting sick a couple of weeks ago because I was surrounded by all these sick people that had just come in on air flights and so forth from around the world. And, you know, they were in bed with the flu and doctors and all the rest. And I think I was sick for about 15 minutes, okay? I did take an extra shot of life. Bang, it was gone, you know, and that's about the extent of my illnesses. Because
I think people forget, Vic, that what you're putting in is directly related to how you're feeling, how strong your immune system is, how your energy levels are, your mood swings, you know, your sugar cravings, even the way you look, your hair, skin, and nails. And that's why I love this show, because this is dispelling some of the myths around that and really dissolving the mystery around health. It's taking it back to basics. It's linked to what we eat, but even people trying to eat well are still falling short because of modern foods.
I mean, it's a great slide that we can show also of these cells. They're red blood cells in the body. Most of us, particularly if we've been out partying or even just working through the day, our red blood cells all stick together in chains, which means they can't get through our more remote capillaries. And so the cells downstream from those capillaries are not being able to pick up oxygen and getting rid of waste nutrients and so forth. So the thing is, you just take a shot of life, and what we've found, I mean, now we're not making any claims because this is a food product, but here it is, here's just a simple, you know, before and after shot. So before, these chains of red blood cells, pretty clear that you're not getting good cell service around the body, and 20 minutes later all the cells are separated, they're working as nature intended, single cells floating around the body, and suddenly that's where the energy rise comes from when you take life first. All right, that's where the physical and the mental energy, because your brain suddenly gets oxygen, your cells get oxygen, and over time circulation, improved circulation is everything again to feel healthy.
Speaking of taking life, can I just show it to them?
Look, you can take it wet as we saw. And you can also obviously sprinkle it over anything that is not hot. Coconut yogurt, things like porridge and so forth, but not hot, okay? That's a big thing. Life contains live enzymes as well. Take about a half a teaspoon at a time. And this has the entire sort of nutrient content of the food that
Fibre
you would
too,
eat.
fibre
So
too.
it's full fibre, and interestingly, most of the fibre in fruits, for example, is where the antioxidants come because they're attached to fibre, and the good sugars are part of many of the antioxidants as well. So this contains good sugars and very few bad sugars. Bad sugars these days are fructose and sucrose.
What about fillers and stuff? Is
Nothing
it just,
like that.
Just
It is
pure?
all pure.
Okay, can I have my
Absolutely.
half teaspoon? So just once a day, and then we wash
Well,
it down with water?
I recommend 2 half teaspoons, but a half
Yes.
teaspoon's easy to eat. Take that, drink water with it. And the whole deal is we need more water as well. We're not hydrating enough because most of us are drinking coffee or tea
Love it.
or other
It's
things.
like berries.
It's like berries.
It tastes like fizzy
Absolutely.
berries.
Well, we put a little bit of fizz in there for that
But
sort of
why does it
tongue
not taste
tingler.
disgusting if it's so good for us, Vic?
Well, because
Explain.
wild foods.
Please explain.
Because wild foods don't taste disgusting if you know how to put them together. I mean, really, it's just a matter of blending foods in the right manner and putting enough so that you don't get any one flavour coming out. But there's so many ingredients in life, which is why you're getting a net flavour of, you know, a sort of a spicy fruit
It's
flavour
delicious.
at the
It's
end of the day.
actually delicious.
It is delicious.
And I'm not just saying that because we have a 30-day money-back guarantee.
try it for
so if they
yourself.
get it home
Yep.
and it's not delicious,
Send it back.
it'll be straight back.
The really interesting thing is a lot of people try it and then they find it not sweet because we're used to this sweetness, okay? But if you stick with it for a couple of days, then you notice that you actually don't like sweet things quite so much.
Now, I've tried Life before. Obviously, I take it, but we have some people, new people who haven't tasted it before,
Excellent.
and they're here in the studio with the lovely Zach. So take a look at this.
Juzzy and Vic, thank you so much. Everybody at home, you're probably wondering, what does this taste like? Is it yum? Is it not so yum? So today we're doing something really special. Lynn in Virginia, thank you guys for jumping in here.
Pleasure.
Yeah, we're actually doing a taste test. So I'm excited to share this with you. But before we get started, do you guys have any health challenges at the moment, like sleep, energy, like mental clarity, stuff like that?
I need energy. I definitely need more energy. I've got this 5-year-old grandson that I'm running around with constantly.
Yes.
And up and down and going up and down stairs with him and racing around with
Endless
cars
energy,
and
hey?
trucks.
Yeah.
And also joints are starting. I'm starting to
Okay.
feel joints with the up and down and
Yep.
getting up with the knees. So anything that can help with that would be fantastic.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much. And Lynn, yourself?
Yes, I'm suffering from insomnia quite a bit recently. I don't know why, but I just seem to wake up at 4:21. You know, I look at my clock and there it is. Maybe I shouldn't have the clock in my room.
Okay.
So anything that would help with that would be fantastic.
Okay.
I do have bone density issues as well. I don't know whether this, it's supposed to be good all over for health, I think. So
Beautiful.
I'm really anxious to try it.
Well, let's get into it, hey?
Okay.
Have you guys
Okay.
tried anything like this in the past?
No, never.
No.
Okay, all right, so this is it here, as you can see.
Yep.
What I love about it, it's so natural. It's all just all the good stuff, none of the bad stuff. So it's just a teaspoon a day, so in your water, and then you've got your
Excellent.
straws there.
Yep.
Give it a bit of a
Give it a bit of a-
stir.
All right.
Oh, it's like a
and,
cocktail.
It is, yeah.
You gonna have some
try. Yeah,
too?
why not? Here we
Yeah.
go.
Okay.
And so, yeah, dig in,
We
dig
try
in.
it? Okay.
Cheers, actually.
Cheers.
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 Okay.
All right,
That's really lovely.
it's yum, hey?
Yeah.
It's really good, really, really
That's
good.
nice.
I mean, that
Actually,
really is.
I actually like the little bits in
All
it too. It just kind
natural.
of feels really natural and healthy.
And there's no sugar. You know, so a lot of the supplements out there today have so much sugar in there. They have this like big kick,
Yeah.
but it's just
But
not healthy.
It has,
you
a,
know?
has a bit of a sweet flavour to it, which is lovely.
Beautiful.
But that's great. There's no sugar to do that.
Yeah. And so, do you guys see yourself potentially incorporating this in the morning or sometime in the afternoon? Something like $3 or a couple of dollars a day in order to, I guess, help you with your health, your energy and some of the
Yeah.
insomnia. Do you
Yeah,
see? That's a
absolutely.
great investment, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's-
Beautiful.
That sounds
So
fantastic. Yeah.
you just need it once a day.
Once a day, yeah, so just a teaspoon. I've been putting it personally in my smoothies, I've been putting it in my juices, tea, coconut yogurt, you name it, be creative with it. That's it.
Oh,
All right,
that's-
well, thank you guys
that's
so
really
much.
lovely. Thank
you
you.
for your time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
very
back to you, Juzzy and
lovely.
Vic.
Thank you, Zach. Vic, interesting the ladies again talking about energy. Interesting also to hear them talk about bone density and things.
Yeah.
But that energy keeps coming up with people, doesn't it? It's so common.
It is so common. I mean, from just enduring fatigue, just goes on. And everybody also mentally, I mean, we feel overwhelmed often. I mean, and that again is really just a lack of energy. And what do we do? Yeah, caffeine, sugar, all the Warana drinks and all that.
Glug, glug, glug,
well,
glug.
that too as well. And if you're not, if you're not going to pick yourself up, you put yourself to sleep with a bit of alcohol as well.
That's right.
Absolutely. Now, this is just so unnatural in a way. Your new normal, if you look forward in a couple of months on life, as things start to improve, and it'll change in a different way for everybody. Let's not forget, we're all in a different space biochemically. So what we're saying here, that you may do this, may do that, or whatever, it's going to depend on where you're at. I've had weightlifters and bodybuilders who, and even athletes, triathletes and others, say they can work harder and they recover more quickly, and they don't get sore after a hard workout and all the rest. And again, that's all part of it. But the energy, whether it's mental or physical, is really, really important.
I just want to say, Virginia was talking about her 5-year-old grandson there as well. I think too, people are, when you don't feel great and you wake up another day feeling fatigued and with the scratchy throat, it starts to then stress you mentally, because then you think, when is this going to end? It's a mental exhaustion from feeling.
The kid to grow up.
That's right.
When's Mum going to take him back?
It's a mental exhaustion from feeling rubbish, Vic.
Yeah.
You know, this is how people feel every day. And the girls are a bit more mature, but I'm hearing this from younger people too.
No, absolutely.
Who are constantly unwell, or they're constantly tired, or mentally fatigued.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's really where we need to look at things like, the immunity, the circulation, just feeding our body, our cells. And, in the longer term, you've got things like libido, there's a whole range of...
Because it's everything it's like a domino effect
It's a
of
domino
everything.
effect.
And is that why, this is what I love, because 65,000 years in the making, clever, love it, Vic, but also the antidote to modern living. I think that's I think that sums it all up, because we weren't supposed to live the way we're living.
No, that's right. And we're certainly not meant to be eating so few foods that are also being, in a way, manufactured in, not just, I'm not talking about processed or ultra processed food, I mean even the way that they're grown now, with all the chemicals and our environment as well, with environmental chemicals, with toxins. We're forever having, detox every second of the day. We are detoxing. So, the process of going through a detox is pointless in a way. Our liver, our kidneys, and even our lymphatics are always detoxing. And so, even if you're eating, even the wild foods, they also form free radicals as they're absorbed. That's how we work with our digestion. But there's enough antioxidants in there to counteract those free radicals, so again, they don't cause any damage in the body.
I'm just looking around the studio, and we do have some people here in our studio, and honestly, everybody
looks tired.
Yes, but they're nodding at everything you're saying, Vic. And I think that's interesting for me, because I just want to take a moment to say to our audience, you are currently getting a masterclass on nutrition from a man that knows nutrition. We haven't just put anybody in this seat. This is a man that's dedicated his life. He's a scientist that's dedicated his life to researching nutrition and how you can boost that nutrition with superfoods, but even more importantly, Australian wild foods. So a big shout out to you, Vic, for also supporting the Indigenous culture, because this is a man that plays the didgeridoo and can speak the language. And I'm saying that's really important as well.
No, look,
you
absolutely.
love the culture, don't you?
Yeah, I look, absolutely. And what I really love is how they are still so generous with their information. We literally, my company employs Aboriginal people directly. We employ them also by buying product, and we pay a premium for that, largely because that is the royalties. That's where the IP is rewarded through the price that we pay for these foods. And then there's the thing that is also very, very gratifying is many of my Aboriginal friends as well take my product and they also tell me how good it is. And so many of these diseases of nutrition just vaporize when you start to underpin your nutrition from what you're eating from a basic modern food choice.
So a related point to that, Vic, is if you could get this blend
Yeah.
in retail, like if I went out there and said, okay, I'm going to buy the Illawarra plum, the wild rosella, the rainforest lime, the kakadu plum, the riberry, the lemon myrtle, the quandong, the forest berry, the anise myrtle, the Davidson plum, the sea vegetable extract, like it goes on and on and on.
does.
If I could find them,
If you could find them.
I couldn't even recreate the nutrition that you've made in life.
No, that's true. I mean, they're not available at the same time in the same season. They're all it's right across the year. So we harvest what's appropriate. We basically get it into freezer stores after we've actually ripened the food. Sometimes we get literally a ton or a ton and a half of one particular fruit, and that's left to ripen sequentially because the fruits don't all come on and they're ripe, ready to eat. This is why you don't see them in supermarkets.
Yeah, right.
Sometimes what you see in supermarkets have been picked green, and then they're offered for sale but artificially ripened, so green oranges go orange, okay, or pears 11 months in the fridge and suddenly they're out again for you as fresh food. But the thing is, what we do is we wait till it's at its absolute peak, naturally ripened, and then we snap freeze. And then they're simply taken through the process and freeze dried, and we just build up all the freeze dried ingredients. But yeah, to get it all together is a nightmare.
And that's why life is not $5.
That's
We talked about this, about the price point for this product.
Yeah.
This is a product where every ingredient has to be harvested and blended at the right time. There's a lot that goes into life. That's why it works.
Absolutely. And to give you an example as well, we buy black currants, for example. We actually don't take the juice out of the currant. We have the juice pressed first and somebody else uses the juice. What we're using is that what they call blackcurrant mark or pomace, and that grows in Tasmania where there's a massive hole in the ozone layer.
Oh.
And so the antioxidant capacity of that blackcurrant is like streets ahead of stuff grown in New Zealand,
So
all the way
interesting.
through to around the world as well.
That's amazing.
So we're paying that amount of attention to detail to make sure that what we get is the absolute best, and everything is screened as it comes in. We know how much vitamin C capacity, we know ORAC levels, we know FRAC levels. For anybody that's into antioxidant, there's all these short terms.
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
literally, this is just straight science.
Okay, and
give it a go, and it's a simple way to just top up your nutrition and reap the rewards.
And when you say simple, it really is. That's the brilliant thing, because by taking your teaspoon of life every day, thank you, Vic, by taking your teaspoon of life every day, Vic's done all the work. So he's decided what products work together synergistically. Why? Because I even know with some health food products you can't put certain things together because they're counterproductive.
Absolutely.
And then they taste terrible together. So all the hard work's been done. So with that half teaspoon twice a day or a teaspoon once a day, it's really your insurance policy, your boost to your nutrition. So if you've decided today to change your life or your family's life, because everyone can take this. But remember, at Openshop, we deliver to your home express with free delivery. We have our 30-day money-back guarantee, and for our new viewers, 10% off your first purchase as well. And for this month, everybody's going into the draw when they make a purchase to win a Mercedes-Benz, except us, Vic. I checked.
I wanted to update.
Seriously, as soon as I arrived today at work, it was my first question. Okay, but you guys at home can absolutely go into the draw to win that Merc, which is very, very exciting. But I think the real win for you is just picking up life, because it is a life-changing product. We'd love you to try it. That's the other thing I have to mention. There is a 30-day money-back guarantee as well. So if anyone gets it home and for some reason you don't love it, you can always return it to us here at Open Shop. I want to just ask you one final thing, Vic, about this. This is your life's work. It's all, and I know you've formulated, it's the pinnacle. You've formulated other products before.
We've gone through a range of liquid products that needed to be pasteurised, and the heat destroys things like live enzymes. And I mean, you might have heard of live enzymes before. They actually, it's been shown that once they get into the body, they'll start cleaning up scar tissue and clots and all sorts of things that, are just part of life, part of living, I should say. Okay, so Life is there to really address health at every different issue. So yeah, there is nothing like this on the market anywhere in the world, which surprises me in a way, because we're still to discover and really explore the wild foods of so many other continents to the same degree that we've had. But in a way, we have the legacy of the longest living culture on the planet.
Yeah.
And interestingly, I mean, I've been going out and living with these people since '83, all the way through to, still going out and talking to my friends out in the bush when, supplies are coming on and looking at new foods and so forth, that we can commercialise. They are so generous with their information. They're so really generous with even their foods. And so we're taking it very respectively and preparing into the product that can go back to these people and again start to improve their life as well, not just through income but through health and wellness.
Well, if you've decided to change your life today, all you need to do is pick up the phone and call us on 13 25 80, or look, jump on our website, because we've got Afterpay as well. So for those of you that say, I really want to try it, I need a little help with paying it off, I think you can pay it off over something like 4 months, about $20 per month. You can jump on our website, openshop.com.au. Shopping is always easy and we are always open. Well, if you've just joined us for the last 10 minutes of this show, I really, really want to give you a snapshot of what we're talking about. Firstly, welcome to Open Shop. We are so excited that you're part of the family. Even by watching, you're part of the family. So welcome. And if you do decide to pick something up from us, you get 10% off your first purchase. But this is all about life, LIFE. That stands for Lyophilized Indigenous Food Essentials. It is a health food supplement made of over a dozen superfoods, 14 Australian wild foods, and the man that's formulated that product so you can easily boost your nutrition with half a teaspoon a day or twice a day is Vic Cherikoff. This is a product that he's dedicated. It's really the pinnacle of your life's work.
And many other researchers as well, absolutely.
How can it help our people watching us at home that are feeling fatigued, that are gaining weight, that are eating but poor foods, that have aged skin, they have mood swings, sugar cravings? How can it help them?
It does all of that and more, okay? So literally healthy energy delivered, both mental and physical. You just feel great. You feel, wellness basically. You just feel normal again. It resets a new level of normal higher. I mean, there's things like immunity boosting. We can certainly say it may boost immunity. We know for a fact when we can make a claim that this is a good source of dietary fibre, and we don't get enough dietary fibre. It's also a great source of wild fruits. It is interesting that our government people say 2 fruits and 5 vegetables. Well, Aborigines actually ate about 10 fruits and 2 vegetables. So where's the sense there? So these nutritious, non-sweet, high fibre, super concentrated fruits are what we evolved eating. So there they are in one hit as well. Simple to take. There's weight management, as you mentioned. So easy if you control your sugar cravings to also control your weight and reach an ideal weight and keep it. I lost 35 kilos. I lost 25 kilos quite quickly, and then the next 10 kilos went off over the ensuing 7 months, and I've kept it off for 4 years.
And I'm going to just stop you there to say to everybody at home, the way that life does that is because this incredible superfood, this blend here, is really controlling the gut cravings for bad food that we've come to get used to. Is that right?
That's right. The gut, well, basically, yes, by addressing this hidden hunger and supplying micronutrients, you basically get a better population of in your microbiome, your gut bugs, both in terms of numbers and species. Then they secrete compounds back into the bloodstream. I mean, let's not forget, they call our microbiome our second brain because there's almost as many neuronal connections in our gut to the rest of our body as there is in our brain. And so our second brain then tells our first brain what they want to eat. And so if you're topping up your nutrition, then you're going to have you're going to basically drive your gut bugs to drive your brain. That's going to give you energy. You're going to, it may improve immunity, may improve the way you sleep. It also helps regularity and digestion and so forth, all part of it. And again, look better, look younger, feel better, sleep better, and age more slowly.
Because this is a food. So like people have to understand, we're not talking about fillers and synthetic products. We're talking
Nothing
about
synthetic here.
harvesting the Australian wild foods and the superfoods at exactly the right time and blending them together. We're not talking about one. We're talking about it's 14 superfoods.
14 wild foods, and the way we put it together, there's about another 13 different superfoods that are just conventional superfoods from around the world. But as I say, like the blackcurrant, way up there in value.
Give me an example of one that you've picked for life and why you picked it, what it will do for our bodies.
Well, I mean, the Illawarra plum just down here, the Illawarra plum's absolutely amazing as a fruit. It's sort of related to the cashew in a way, because the seed's on the outside, and inside is just this deep blue, almost blue, black, purple juice, and high also in dietary fibre and soluble dietary fibre. But the interesting thing out of these, and Justine, have a chew of one of them. Have a crunch on that. It's a freeze-dried fruit.
How much do I trust you, Vic Cherikoff?
Totally, with your life. Now, the interesting thing about the antioxidants in life is that they appear to slow the maturation of our baby fat cells, right? Essentially, when we grow fat, we have beta fat cells that have to mature to be able to start storing fat from what you eat. Okay? So they don't just appear, you don't have blobs of fat everywhere that are empty. They literally are formed from beta cells. It appears that the Illawarra plum antioxidants actually slow the maturation. So if there's nowhere to put your fat, how can you get fat?
Well, this is, okay, so exactly. But
What did you think of the taste?
Well, that just tasted
interesting, a slight plum flavour,
well,
resinous perhaps.
I'm not going to say you put me on the spot, but what I will say, Vic, is life tastes better than the berry on its own, and
Sure.
that's what you
whole
know
deal.
how
Absolutely,
to do.
yeah.
Can I say this too? It works out. I think it's $3.25 a day. Don't quote me, everyone. I think it's $3 a day or something a day.
The rest is cheaper
And
than
it
that.
always is interesting to me that people are skeptical or people are like hesitant, but they'll buy a pair of shoes like that for $100. No
That's
problem.
the point, yeah.
No problem. Like women will go, I need that new dress. But for our very own health, for our own nutrition, which is really the thing that controls everything about us.
Absolutely.
People hesitate. They go, I don't know, $3 a day. Can I do that? I'm not sure.
I'm thinking of going into a coffee shop and say, I'd like to try your cup of coffee. Okay, it's $4.50, but if I don't like it, I want to give it back.
That's right.
And
that's what we're giving people the chance to do, to say, will life change the way I feel? And that's what it's really about. When you get at home, I want you to have your teaspoon a day and then knock it back with a glass of water. You'll have those short-term benefits, there's long-term benefits, but if there isn't for you, guess what? 30-day money-back guarantee. And that's what we love, but it's also free delivery anywhere in Australia, express free delivery as well. One last thing that I want to ask Vic about too, because if people have come in the last 5 minutes of this show or something, and they're saying, well, this is very interesting, I just want to remind them, you know, that Vic's written several books on Australian wild foods. He is the go-to man on that topic.
Numerous chapters in other people's books, which is nice as well.
Yep. You can write a chapter in my next book
No
if you
problem
like.
at all.
That's fine, you're welcome to. There's one of them right there.
That's my most recent book, and I'm most proud of that. A lot of background in there, a lot of nutrition, a lot of science in the back as well, but easy to read.
And there's no copies left, so don't even try. Because I said to him, oh, can you bring me, but he goes, oh, I don't have any at the moment. So, you know, popular book and a popular man. And I'm so thrilled. And I really, really hope you've enjoyed this hour, because even without buying anything, just listening to Vic and understanding more about our bodies and our nutrition is pretty special. And we're going to see a lot more of him and this product. We really, really care about our viewers. We love that you're part of the family, and we're always open to your feedback. We're always open for you guys. You can call our customer care team. You can jump online at openshop.com.au. Yeah, that's right. We're always open. Okay, thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, Vic Cherikoff.
Justine.
Thank you, Zach, who's still over there somewhere. Thank you to the beautiful ladies as well for taste testing, and we're going to see you next time. Bye-bye.